Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? And Corey Seager has just tied the game. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. Wow. How you doing, everyone? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Wow. Oh, wow. The Rangers are back in the ball game with just one swing of the bat. Wow. Welcome to tonight's show. I thought we were about to start the recap, and it looks like we could be here for a little bit, or who knows? Maybe we won't be here too long. It's still bottom of the ninth here, one out. Corey Seager has tied the game with one swing of the bat, and I see you in the chat. Manzak11, you just said, I just wish Arizona could score more runs so we would have a more cushioning lead. And there you are, my friend. And there you are. And there you are. So let's share the screen here. Let's get to it. Unbelievable, everyone. Unbelievable. Wow. And here's Evan Carter up 2 for 4. 2 doubles on the night. Wow. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Corey Seager, man. Corey freaking Seager. How you doing, everyone? How you doing? Everyone, if you can, really quick for me, if you can, hit the crap out of the like button just like Corey Seager did with that home run just now. Hit the bell notification. That way you know I go live after all of these post games and any future streams, as well as any videos that I upload. And I will be uploading a video this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. And share the show if you can. Let's try and get some more people in here. But oh my goodness, Corey Seager just tied the game with an absolute bomb. And this game, all of a sudden, is a brand new game. Wow, look at the location of that pitch. Just right in the middle. They wanted it up a little higher, and he just couldn't get it up higher here. So bottom of the ninth, 2 count, and Carter has had himself a really good game here. Hold on one second, everyone. Having some technical difficulties. What is going on here? One second, everyone. I apologize. For some reason, my screen just decided to... Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, I think we are good. Sorry about that, everyone. My screen just went... it went black, and then the screen on here just went green. I think we're okay. Okay. You got to think... Of all the people that appreciate Corey Seager the most is Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi did not have himself a great start tonight. I will get to that in a little bit. We are not starting the post game just yet because Corey Seager decided he wanted to keep this game going a little bit. Unbelievable. Man, oh man. Who we got here in the chat? Nicholas, one of our moderators, is here. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for stopping by. Caden, how you doing, my friend? One of our members. Hello, hello. Primetime 99, can't believe Seawald blew it. Unbelievable. Wow, Seawald has been pretty nails so far, and then game 1 of the World Series here just coughs it up. Got the first out, but here we go. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Man, oh man. Maximiliano Flores, how you doing, my friend? Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, how you doing? Says here, my Rangers... I can't believe it. What a great way to start a World Series. Oh, and Garcia gets hit. And the Rangers have a base runner here in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. Man, oh man. Everyone, the light goal for tonight is 50. If you can help us get to 50, I will love you forever. Man. I mean, what a game this has been tonight. I mean, it got off to a pretty hot start. You had the offenses going back and forth. Seemed like Gallen and Eovaldi couldn't really get their footing in the early going of the game. Gallen really settled in there after a little bit. Pham going deep. Ketel Marte having himself a good game here tonight. Corbin Carroll getting it started hot for the Diamondbacks, getting that triple early on. Diamondbacks all game, just playing Diamondbacks baseball. We've seen the Diamondbacks play just like this pretty much the entire postseason. And in the end, the difference is Corey Seager. But can the Rangers find a way to complete the comeback? Bottom of the ninth here, 2 outs. Adolis Garcia that was a pretty nasty hit for him. But Mitch Garver, this guy has really come up big a couple of times here for the Rangers this postseason. Can he come through again here for the Rangers? Wow, stolen base for Adolis Garcia. And the Rangers have something cooking here all of a sudden. Unbelievable. Wow. Hey, gotta love Adolis Garcia here, getting smashed on the freaking hand or wherever he got hit, on the elbow or the arm. And he just says, I don't freaking care. I'm going to go steal this base. And all of a sudden, the Rangers have the winning run on second base here. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs in Texas. All of a sudden, this game went from maybe kind of a dud in the end. Right? It was an exciting game in the first half, but it's been pretty quiet since. And everything just woke up here in the bottom of the ninth. Adolis Garcia stealing second base. Colin Croft, how you doing? Exciting game for both sides tonight. Should be a great World Series. That's exactly what I said coming into this World Series. Absolutely what I said. I told you, I think we could see an all-time classic. And right now, it looks like we might be getting one. But here we go. The guy that's up at the plate right now is kind of not the guy you want right now. So they ended up intentionally walking Mitch Garver to go to Austin Hedges. Austin Hedges, hey man, this guy at Fenway Park, he's delivered a couple of homers before at Fenway. But Austin Hedges, this is not the guy you want up at the plate right now. So the Diamondbacks, that's actually a smart move to just intentionally walk Garver there, who has come through in a couple of moments this postseason, to get to Hedges. But who knows? Can Hedges maybe get something done here? 2 outs, 2 strikes, bottom of the ninth. And there is the third strike. So we have extra innings here in Texas. And man, oh man, I thought we were going to have a post game right there. And in the end, I think Corey Seager saw that I was going live. I seemed like I was calling game pretty much. And we have a brand new ball game. 5-5 into the 10th we go. Gabriel Duran, how you doing? No, the game is not over, Gabriel. We are now going into extra innings. We got free baseball here. So question is, in the World Series, I believe they don't get the base runner, right? Do they get the ghost runner in? Because I don't think we even had an extra inning game this postseason at all. Let me see here. I believe we don't have the ghost runner. Or maybe I'm wrong. So so I just looked, I just confirmed there will be no ghost runner in the postseason. I believe this is our first extra inning game. Could be wrong. Brian, how you doing? Second straight year, a World Series game 1 going to extra innings. Man, oh man. Hey, good way to start this World Series. Great baseball. Great baseball. But how you doing, everyone? Thank you for stopping by. I'm sure whenever this game comes to a close, we will end up having a few more people come on in. It is a Friday night, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good day today. Hope you had a good end to your week, whether or not you are ending your work week, or who knows, maybe you're starting your work week tomorrow. Maybe you work on the weekends, or maybe some of you are just going to school. Maybe it's the end of your school week. So I do appreciate you all stopping by. But Corey Seager, if you are just coming on in, Corey Seager, absolutely just coming through. Corey Seager has always been a pretty solid postseason performer. He has some really good numbers in the postseason. And actually, we can go pull up here some Corey Seager in the postseason. I mean, once again, just adding another moment to his postseason career. 281 at-bats in the postseason. You know, sure, the batting average looks a little low at 253, but the 352 on base, 850 OPS. He has 17 career postseason home runs. You know, we're talking about Jose Altuve, this year, only behind Manny Ramirez now for the all-time home run lead in the postseason. But Corey Seager, 17 home runs. Well, actually, I don't know if this is updated. I believe it's probably 17 now. I'm sure they updated it. But here we go here. Jose Leclerc is on the mound. And Jose Leclerc looked really strong early on in this postseason. And, sure, they got through that series with the Astros, but it seemed like Jose Leclerc was maybe hitting some bumps along the way towards the end of that series, coughing up some hits there. But Jose Leclerc, they are definitely going to be counting on in this series. He's going to be a big arm for them here. But Corey Seager, what a moment for him, man. What a moment for him. David Kadingo Jr., how you doing? Tied up. Rather have faced the Rangers because Arizona isn't that good. Yeah, I mean, Arizona, say what you will about Arizona, but they do the little things really well, and that's what's gotten them to this postseason, right? They run the bases really well. They make a lot of contact. They just kind of play the game fundamentally sound, honestly. When you look at the Diamondbacks, they're not really horrible, really anywhere, right? You look at the 1-2 starters. Ketel Marte grounds out there. Semien on to first, and there's the first out here in the top of the 10th. No surprise to see Ketel Marte going after Leclerc like that. Leclerc, has been a little shaky in the last few outings. So not surprised to see Marte really go after him there. But the Diamondbacks, they've done the small things really well in this postseason. King Yellowman, how you doing? Seager only showed up big for 2 postseasons with the Dodgers. He struggled in the other 5. Yeah, he definitely picked it up in the last couple of postseasons. That 2020 postseason for the Dodgers, he was huge for them. Huge. Man, go back to that postseason that Corey Seager had. A lot of people look at Randy Arozarena that postseason, but Corey Seager was massive in that postseason. And he's had a good one as well in this one, hitting .333 with an OPS of 1.180. CRAS951, he should be a Dodger right now, but we are cheap for a big market team. I thought Corey Seager, honestly, at one point, I thought he was going to go to the Yankees. I really thought Corey Seager on the Yankees would have been great. Seemed like a perfect fit at the time. Seemed like a perfect fit. Before people start saying the Dodgers messed up letting him walk, they tried to extend him after the 2020 World Series. He declined. Texas had the no-income advantage. Absolutely. Dodgers tried to re-sign him. Yeah, they definitely went after him. I think Corey Seager, it kind of seemed like he did want to go somewhere else. Who knows what those reasons are. But, obviously, he had coaches with Texas. It seemed like he just found the fit to be more comfortable in Texas. Well, who knows what the other reasons were. But Texas did offer him a fat contract. So money talks at the end of the day. Money talks. So Caden Lichford, if the Rangers win the World Series, will Corey Seager win MVP? Definitely has a good chance. Definitely has a good chance. Moreno with a massive swing. Absolutely massive swing. Moreno 0 for 4 tonight. Not a lot of impact from Gabriel Moreno. We've seen him have quite a few moments in this postseason, but not really too much going on tonight. Batting third for the Diamondbacks tonight. Big swing and a miss, and Leclerc sits him down. 2 outs here in the top of the 10th. CRAS951, LA threw him a $200 million extension. He wasn't taking that. Yeah, he wanted to hit the open market. My guess is Corey Seager probably had a good idea of what he was going to get on that open market. So, everyone, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you all. We were very close to doing a post-game, but then Corey Seager said, nah, we're not going to do the post-game here. We're not going to do the post game. We're going to play some more baseball here. So we are now doing a watch along at the end of the day. I thought we were going to have a recap, but this is now turned into just a watch party. We're going to watch the end of game 1. But Christian Walker, this is a guy I'm kind of waiting for him to do something here. We got Nelson warming up in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. But Christian Walker, this is a guy coming into this series. I said Christian Walker needs to do something in this series. He's been rather quiet in this postseason. This could be a big moment for Walker if he can come through. One swing of the bat can change the game. Leclerc, he comes set. This will be his 15th pitch. And Walker, gets the bat on the ball, but pops it up to center. Tavares has it, and the Rangers will have another chance to win this game. 250, 8 years was the offer. Yeah, the Dodgers, they definitely wanted to keep Seager around, but the Rangers, they were just more motivated to go get him, right? They were more motivated to get him than the Dodgers were to keep him in the end. You know, you got to think with the Dodgers, too. You know, look at all the young talent they had in the farm system. You know, sure, yes, you try to keep Corey Seager at the end of the day, but, you know, if you had a limit that you didn't want to go past, you know, you do have tons of young players. But now, I mean, look at the shortstop position for the Dodgers this year. You know, it hasn't really worked out. You know, you were going with Miguel Rojas a lot this year. You know, Mookie Betts even played some short this year. It's like, you know, looking back, should the Dodgers have really gone hard after Corey Seager or harder? So, I don't know. Real deal prime, D-backs in the World Series with a laughing emoji. I mean, I'm just saying. Diamondbacks in this World Series, that's so fun to me. But, you know, I'm very curious to see what the ratings are for this game one, considering it is Halloween weekend. You know, a lot of people out and about, going to costume parties, going out into the city wearing costumes or whatever. I was driving around a little earlier, and I was already seeing people wearing costumes. I saw a guy wearing a Talladega Nights costume. At one point, I saw some dude in like a big old inflatable sumo suit. At one point, I'm like, whoa, what the heck was that? So I do wonder what the ratings are going to be for this game compared to other World Series game ones. I think that's going to be very interesting to see. Because coming into this series, I think we could all agree. Now, sure, I am very happy the Diamondbacks are in this series. I mean, they've had just an awesome postseason, an underdog postseason. No one really, not many people were picking the Diamondbacks. I know there were a few out there that were, you know, gung-ho on the Diamondbacks. I accidentally picked the Diamondbacks and the Rangers to make it to this World Series. I've already showed that tweet on prior streams. Foolish Baseball, he posted something about ex-Woba, and I just so happened to notice that the Diamondbacks and the Rangers were near the top of that list, and I just said, so are you saying Diamondbacks and Rangers in the World Series? And all of a sudden it came true. So I accidentally predicted this World Series, and here we are. But you got to love the Rangers here. It kind of seemed like the Rangers, maybe we're done, you know, honestly. The way the Diamondbacks bullpen was performing yet again, that bullpen was so good against the Phillies in the NLCS, and they really just delivered here tonight until Corey Seager came up in the ninth inning. Unbelievable. This World Series is a snooze fest. I mean, I think it has the potential to be a really good one. I do think this has the potential to go 7 games. Honestly, I think that might be, you know, who knows what the ratings are going to be. I'm no expert when it comes to the ratings. You know, who knows? Maybe this ends up being a decently watched World Series, but I think if this goes a 7th game, I think that 7th game could end up being maybe a pretty solidly watched Game 7. So I hope it does. I think these two teams could absolutely go 7 games. The Diamondbacks are really hard to put away. The Rangers, obviously talented up and down. But here we go. We got Nelson on the mound. We got Lowe up at the plate. And I did say coming into this series, Nate Lowe for me was an X factor kind of a guy in this series. I think Nate Lowe is one of those guys. He could change a game with one swing. And he actually almost did earlier in this game. He sent one deep, went right to the warning track. Everyone thought it was gone because he hit it so high. So, but yeah, Nate Lowe to me, this is a game changer kind of a guy. So here we go. Full count, bottom of the 10th. Nelson on the mound. Here's the pitch, and there is a slider down to the dirt. Nate Lowe takes the walk, and the Rangers have a base runner. Could they go with a pinch runner here to get a little bit more speed on the bases, or do they keep the bat of Lowe in the lineup? And here we go. Here's Josh Young, 2 for 4 on the night, hitting .306 this postseason, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. Josh Young, I think this is the kind of a hitter you definitely want up at this point. Try to keep this going here. Nate Lowe getting on But here we go. The one thing with the Rangers this season, not a very good base running team. So let's see if the Rangers can somehow get these runners over. This is why, the Corey Seager, with the bat he has, it's so impactful in more ways than just swinging the bat, because the Rangers aren't really one of those teams that run the bases extremely well, right? They scored, and that's honestly even more impressive because the Rangers scored as many runs as they did this year without really a whole ton of speed on the bases. So that's even more impressive to me. But Ryan Nelson, here we go, throws a cutter. That is low. It's a 1-1 count. Josh Young, another one of these young players in this World Series. So many young players in this World Series really getting a chance to shine. We saw Corbin Carroll earlier in the game with the triple. But now you got Josh Young. There's a grounder to Perdomo, on to second, on to first. Oh, and a huge double play for the Diamondbacks. Huge double play for the Diamondbacks. Wow, that just completely destroyed all of the momentum for the Rangers right there. Give a lot of credit to Perdomo. He's been playing a solid short this postseason. CRaz951, how you doing? I'm surprised the Manfred runner didn't make it to the postseason. Caden, how you doing? Could this be the best World Series ever? I think it has the potential to be a really good one. Who knows? Best World Series ever? I mean, there's been some really good ones. I mean, the 2001 World Series with the Diamondbacks that year, I still think, in my personal opinion, I think that was the best World Series of all time. When you just looked at the stars that were in that series, especially the pitching matchups, Kurt Schilling against Roger Clemens in Game 7. I mean, what a matchup that was. A tight game going all the way against Mario Rivera in the bottom of the ninth, and then you get the walk-off. I mean, crazy. I mean, what a series that was. You had Derek Jeter coming up in big spots in that postseason, in that series. That 2001 World Series, which had the Diamondbacks in it, that was a really good World Series. Tavares up here, 0 for 3 on the night. Could not check his swing. We now got a 1-2 count here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. I appreciate you all stopping by. If you can help us out really quick, I will greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button harder than Corey Seager hit that home run to tie this game. If you can, the like goal for tonight is 50. If we can help us get to 50, that is the starting point. Let's see if maybe we can get it to 100 after that, if we can get to 50. But here we go. I will be live until this game is over, and then I will be doing a post-game recap whenever this game goes final. They better not have this game go freaking 20 innings tonight. That is not what I'm looking for tonight. Not what I'm looking for. My goodness. It gives me nightmares of Game 3 in the 2018 World Series. My goodness. That game went 18 innings. Was this 18, 17? I can't even remember. It was that long of a game. I don't think I went to bed that night until like 4 in the morning. But Tavares draws the walk, and another base runner here for the Rangers. That just makes that double play so much bigger here. Man, imagine if they didn't get into that double play. Imagine Josh Young just got on. Let's say he drew a walk. You'd have the bases loaded right now. Man, oh man, that was a massive double play. But Nelson now, and here's Semien. This was a key player for me going into this series because Semien has done absolutely nothing in this postseason. This is the spot that Semien really could use to help turn his postseason around. I mean, my goodness. This postseason, 57 ABs, 10 hits, only hitting 175 this postseason. A dreadful ALCS against the Astros. Really needs this spot here. We got a pitching coach visit to the mound. Everyone, also, don't forget about our sponsor. I will talk about our sponsor in just a little bit. Well, as soon as we get to the recap, I'll talk about the sponsor a little bit more. But it is Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description down below. It is your number one stop for all your daily fantasy needs. Promo code is HIDE. When you use that, you get a double on your first deposit up to $100. Okay, here we go. Back to the game. Semien 0 for 5, hitting 175 this postseason, only 2 RBIs. This is a spot for Semien, if there is ever a spot. Semien drives it to left, and there's a base hit. And here we go. The Rangers have the winning run on second. Semien comes through, a dreadful postseason up to this point, and Semien has delivered. And now the winning run, Tavares, is on second. And here we go. Could Corey Seager not just tie this game, but also win this game? The 2-run home run in the ninth to tie it. A couple of walks as well. He scored 3 runs tonight. Can Corey Seager have a legendary game 1, not just tying it, but winning it as well? Here we go. Honestly, great spot there for Semien. I keep talking about that, but he has been so bad in this postseason. Honestly, Seager right now, I mean, go back to the entire ALCS. He was hitting so many hard hit balls. I mean, my goodness. This guy, in my opinion, just locked in. But here we go. 2-0 count here. I mean, this is a great situation. Oh, Corey Seager. Over aggressive there. Grounds out. That's one thing about Corey Seager. A very, very aggressive approach for him. Lots of swings early in counts, and he really does himself in there. And the Rangers waste yet another opportunity. And I don't like that, man. I don't like when you just get so many of these opportunities and you can't capitalize. And a team like the Diamondbacks, you don't want to give them too many chances, because the way they can manufacture runs, the way they can get the base runners on and then move them across, the way they just advance those runners, they make so much contact, they run the bases well. That is a team I don't want to give a lot of chances. And the Rangers right now, and this is kind of one of those things with the Rangers, like, yeah, one swing of the bat from Corey Seager completely changed this game. But imagine if they had, some better base running. Imagine if they were able to advance the bases a little bit better. Maybe this game is already over at this point. We'll have to wait and see. We are in between innings right now, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. We got 100 people here in this chat. Thank you for stopping by. And that's already great to see, considering we're not even at the post-game recap yet. Who knows when this post-game recap will be? Who knows? But what do we got here in the chat? Carlos says, on to the 11th we go. On to the 11th we go, my friend. On to the 11th we go. General Zod, snooze fest, LOL. Who said snooze fest? I don't think anyone said. Who said snooze fest? I don't know. I mean, honestly, after that hot start, there was a lot of action in the beginning. A lot of action in the early going. And then it kind of almost, if you really think, it kind of did turn into a snooze fest. It was almost, can the Diamondbacks close the deal? Can they figure out a way to get to the end of the game? And it looks like they were cruising, and they just couldn't close it out. And Seawald, I'm actually surprised about that. It just really felt like the Diamondbacks were going to be on their way to a Game 1 win. Not Juan, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to the chat. But here we go. We're back to the top of the 11th here. Diamondbacks getting another chance, and I'll say it again. You don't want to give this Diamondbacks team too many chances. Let's see if Leclerc here, he's had a couple of days of rest, so I think that's going to be good for him. But he has been used a lot in this postseason. And if we go here and take a look at Leclerc in this postseason, I mean, he's thrown a decent amount. Already 11 games in this postseason already. 11 and a third innings pitch. He gets the pop out there. That's over to Carter, and he snags it. Tommy Pham is the first out here. But Jose Leclerc, he was pretty much very solid for this entire postseason. But he did run into some trouble there against the Astros in the ALCS. And you can see maybe there was a little bit of fatigue catching up to him. But so far, he's looking great here tonight. But here we go. He's got a 1 out in the top of the 11th here. And here's Gurriel Jr. Chases that one on the outside. Gabriel Duran, why was Gallen pulled? I think it was just more of a, kind of an analytical kind of a thing, a feel kind of a thing. I think with Gallen, you got the 5 out of him. Could you have maybe gotten a little bit more? Yeah, I mean, when you think of Gallen here, if you look at the amount of pitches that he threw, he was at 99. Did you really want to push it even more there? I mean, he was at 99 pitches already, so I can support pulling him. He got those 2 scoreless innings after, those bumps in the early goings in innings 1 through 3. But then he was able to settle down for the 4th and the 5th. But again, he was at 99 pitches, so I can understand pulling him. He walked 4, so the lack of control and the lack of command tonight did catch up to him. It'll be great. I think this is a step in the right direction for Gallen. I think, if they do end up making it to a next start for Gallen, I think you could even see him be even better in his next start. This, to me, was his best start, minus that start against the Dodgers, right? The last few starts overall, this was definitely one of his better starts. So, yeah, CRAS951, you're saying here 100 pitches in 5 innings is enough for me. Yeah, me too. And you got to think too, you're throwing that many pitches in 5 innings, right? So it's not like you were cruising through those innings, right? You had to work in those 5 innings. So, and he strikes out Gurriel Jr. and Leclerc is looking locked in here. 2 outs here in the top of the 11th. Carlos, how you doing? Giving up those 2 home runs to Altuve in Game 5 and Game 7. Yeah, that was one thing. It was pretty much the only bad spots for Leclerc in this postseason. So, yeah, CRES951, Leclerc has had a few days of rest, so he's fresh. He looks fresh. He looks good. CRAS951, Miguel Castro pitching the next inning, might be walk-off incoming. His command is shoddy. We'll have to see. Castro is one of those guys to me that he's got some pretty good stuff when he's on. Not a bad picture to have, but there have been times where he's let one get away from him. I wonder if that ends up happening. But here we go. Alek Thomas, he was the hero of Game 4 against the Phillies. Can he be the hero yet again? Also, don't forget, everyone, my feed on my TV is a little behind probably all of yours at home, so bear with me. You might have already, seen what's happened next. So, Thomas gets the bat on the ball, pops it up in the infield. That's actually foul, but Young is under it, and the Rangers get another chance here in the bottom of the 11th. Man, they're moving pretty quick here. This is what makes the pitch clock so nice. It really does, man. Because I remember we have sat here through some extra inning games on this channel in prior postseasons, and it feels like we've just been sitting here forever. But the pitch clock feels really nice right now. I feel like you feel the speed of the pitch clock even more so in extra innings, and that's a pretty nice feeling for me. Kellerman, how you doing? Let's go Astros. Astros, how we doing? Astros, let's go. Kellerman, has anyone told Kellerman that the Astros are going home? They're already golfing. They're already signing up for their tee times over in Houston and wherever they live. They're going to enjoy some golf. I mean, honestly, they just win so much. I mean, good for them for having just a World Series off. I bet some of those guys are like, yeah, would have liked to win a World Series, but extra week and a half off isn't too bad. So, Karina, how you doing? Let's go D-backs. Hey, let's see. They're going to have to, once again, hold this Rangers team down in the bottom of the 11th. CRAS951, off topic. How do you feel about Benji Gill being rumored to manage for the Padres? I think for whoever it is for the Padres, I don't know much about him as a candidate. I have to read more about him, honestly. Whoever it is, as long as it's someone that can connect with these players a bit more, I think that's just going to be the biggest one for me. And someone where they can just interact with that front office. It just seems like there's been a lot of clashing with the manager in the front office. So, Bob Melvin going to the Giants. I think Bob Melvin with the Giants is going to be a really nice fit overall. So, whoever it is, man, oh man. What do we got here? All right, Kellerman, we gotta put you in timeout, my friend. We gotta put you in timeout. I'm sorry, Kellerman, but we cannot be spamming in this chat. Can't be spamming in this chat. Carlos, how you doing? Got Texas walking it off in the 12th or the 13th. We might be in it for a while. I mean, we got Adolis Garcia coming up in this inning. We got some bats here for the Rangers. Here we go. Here we go. Evan Carter coming up here, bottom of the 11th. The Rangers with another chance, and Nelson is still on the mound. I do wonder if maybe they go with a pitching change after this. They wanted to stay with the lefty versus the lefty. But Carter, he has definitely had his moments here in this postseason. But remember, they have sat Carter against lefties during this postseason. So let's see what ends up happening. But Adolis Garcia, him coming up, that's not the bat you want to go up against right now. Tim Sawyer, how you doing, my friend? Benji Gill was a bench guy, utility guy for most of his career, but some of those guys lean a ton in that position, but I don't think he's the guy for them. I mean, those guys that end up riding the bench, those are the kind of guys that end up being the good managers, right? The guys that don't play as much and they use their eyes more, right, and they're communicating more on that bench, those are the guys that end up being that manager. I remember talking with Jonathan Papelbon on this channel. Had the conversation with him, and we talked about Kevin Cash with the Rays, and he just talked about how Kevin Cash was just abysmal as a player, but which made him a good manager. Carter lifts it to right, but that's not going to be deep enough. Carroll is under it, and there is the first out. But here we go. Adolis Garcia, the big right-handed bat. Will they make... Yeah, it looks like they're going to go with the pitching change here. I would imagine Castro would come into this game. And here we go. They are going to make the pitching change. They're going to go with the righty-righty matchup, which makes a whole lot of sense. I wouldn't want to put the lefty against Garcia at this time. My goodness. XX, I hope the Diamondbacks win. Oh, they're going to have a tough time here. They had their chance. It almost feels like... feels like the Diamondbacks had their chance. They're right there. It's going to be tough to put this Rangers team away at home. CRAS951, he did pretty good at managing Team Mexico. Yeah, that was true. That was true. But again, whoever manages for the Padres, they got the most important thing to me is someone that's going to make the counter, keep the players accountable, but someone that can just connect with them as well. To me, it just seemed like there was just a big disconnect. So, 136 people in this chat. Everyone, thank you for stopping by tonight. Like goal for tonight is 50. If you can help us get to 50, I will love you forever. Where are we at now? Have we already met that goal? We already have met our like goal for tonight. So we got to update the like goal. So now the like goal for tonight is 100. So we have a new like goal, everyone. I'm going to pin that to the top. And there we go. A new goal here for tonight. We hit our first goal. Can we hit our second goal? Tony La Russa, perfect for the Padres. I don't know. Why not? Let's just go for it. AC2YT. So there's no runner starting at second base in the playoffs. So no, in the postseason, no ghost runner at second base. So... which I can understand. It's postseason. You should have to earn every bit of those wins, right? You should have to be able to get those runners on yourself. That to me seems appropriate for the postseason. So that to me makes sense. MVP Nation, what did everyone have for dinner? I ate lobster. Listen, MVP Nation, I stopped at this really good place tonight. Barbecue kind of a place, but more of like it's a barbacoa as well. Man, oh man, they do just good brisket, good pulled pork. What else is there? There was some. I had a sandwich. Had some brisket, pulled pork in it, and it had some sausage in there as well. Smoked sausage. I had like this apple coleslaw. It was absolutely fantastic. Had these like little tacos as well. Oh, so good. So good. That was my dinner for tonight. Stop for some ice cream as well. It was absolutely wonderful. Here's Miguel Castro on the mound for the Diamondbacks, and there is what you said there in the chat, the lack of command from Castro, and already his first pitch getting away from him. But Garcia having a monster postseason, hitting .345, 7 homers, 21 RBIs, 15 home runs in the ALCS. Just a phenomenal series. I mean, my goodness. I got to go back and look back at some of just the best single series performances of all time. Garcia has to be up there, right? He obviously is already with the RBIs. That was a record. But I want to go look at his slash line compared to other players in single series. But oof, Garcia, big swing and a miss. Completely swung through his shoes on that one. I feel like Garcia is really locked in at this time. And he is a swinging for the fences on everything. He's just feeling good. But here we go. Castro on the mound. Bottom of the 11th. 2-1 count. 1 out. Another pitch gets away from him. There's a 3-1 count. Man, oh man. Again, if you are just coming in, we now have 150 people in this chat. Corey Seager tying the game in the 9th, a big 2-run homer. Ooh, Garcia hits it deep, and that's gone! Garcia has walked it off, and the Rangers have won it! Oh my goodness, what a game! Corey Seager tying it in the 9th, Adolis Garcia winning it in the 11th. I can't even speak. Wow! CRAZ951, you absolutely called it in the chat. You told us Miguel Castro, that command tends to get away from him at times. And there it was. You could see early in the first pitch he threw was completely outside, had nothing on it. Couple of pitches there. He got down to a 3-1 count, fell behind. I told you, I was just saying it here a second ago. Adolis Garcia is not the guy you want to try and, make bad pitches to at this time. He's completely locked in. Everything he's swinging at right now, he's trying to swing through his freaking shoes. He's swinging for the moon on everything. And you just saw it right there. Horrible mismatch there, in my opinion. Again, CRAZ951, all the credit for you in the chat. Telling us there in the chat, Miguel Castro, he is someone that really lacks that command. And with Garcia right now, just being as locked in as he is, winning the game here for the Rangers, and that is unbelievable. Unbelievable game. I mean, go back to the beginning of this game. A lot of energy. Corbin Carroll, the Rangers getting it started with a couple of runs there. But then Corbin Carroll with the triple. The Rangers answering back, right? And then eventually the Diamondbacks, they just got it going, opened up the lead there. And after that, it just felt like, can the Diamondbacks make it to the end? Can their bullpen lead the way after Zach Gallen got a couple of scoreless innings there? It was up to the bullpen, which had been really good this postseason. It just kind of felt like the Diamondbacks were doing everything they could to really hang on there, and it just felt like they were going to because of how good this bullpen has been. And just one bad pitch from Seawald, and we had a completely different game. That's the one thing. Sure, the Diamondbacks, they play small ball really well. They run the bases really well. They make a ton of contact. But the one thing that the Rangers have, right, that they, in my opinion, have way more of than the Diamondbacks, they just have those game-changing kind of bats, right? The Diamondbacks have a couple as well, right? But when you just look at the kind of a player that Corey Seager is, that's the superstar kind of a player, the cream that rises to the top, all right? That's the kind of guy that you want in the postseason, and he came up in a big spot there. And Adolis Garcia, he has just turned into a superstar this postseason, and that's what, in the end, that's all she wrote. So we got 250 people in this chat. We are going to go start the post game. I'm going to update the title here, and we're going to get this going. Let me just update this title real quick. Here we go. 1 second, everyone. I appreciate you all stopping by. Everyone, if you can, hit that like button for me. We're going to start the post game here. It was going to be a post game a little earlier. I thought the game was going to end, but Corey Seager, he kind of just wagged his finger at me, told me no, and then the game ended up going to extra innings. So here we go. Rangers. 1 second. I'm just updating the title. Here we go. One second, everyone. Here we go. Okay, title is updated. All right, everyone, we are going to really dive into this here. We're going to dive into the post game. And again, what an ending to this game. What a great ending to this game. This is a game one. Listen, this is exactly, as a fan, this is how you want to start a series, right? I said this coming into this series. I think this series has the potential to be a classic, and we've already gotten ourselves a treat here in game one. The Rangers coming through big with one swing from Corey Seager, tying it in the 9th. Garcia winning it in the 11th. That's an all-time kind of a game, if you ask me, and I think we could be in store for a really good series. The Diamondbacks are going to be that team that are just going to be, they're always going to be hard to put down, and that's why I think they could really battle in this series. You know, sure, the Rangers, they got it here tonight, getting the game one win. They're up 1-0 in the series now, but we have seen many, you know, in this postseason, the Diamondbacks, even if they fall down in the series, they can battle back. They really battled here tonight. They looked really good there until the 9th inning. And so, to me, I think we could end up seeing a really good series here. This was a great game here tonight. Just two hard-fighting teams here, but in the end, the Rangers taking advantage of that home field advantage. So let's get to it here tonight, everyone. Let's get to it. So, you know, I had, you know, kind of already my notes already prepared, but let's kind of just go back to the beginning, right? You know, go back to Garcia in the beginning, Carter, both of them getting the base hits. You know, in the end, that ends up being key. They made it 2-0 in the early going, but Corbin Carroll, remember, he had a great game 7 against the Phillies, hitting the triple there, tying the game up. Right. And then, you know, Marte, he was able to get the fielder's choice, keeping it going, made it 3-2. You know, the one thing about the Diamondbacks, I know the story right now is on the Rangers, you know, obviously a huge win for them, but give a lot of credit to the Diamondbacks here tonight. Sure, you know, the strength that they've had in this postseason is their bullpen not coming through tonight. But the one thing that makes the Diamondbacks really hard to beat is they make a lot of contact. They were 3rd in contact percentage this year in the regular season, and they were 6th in base running as well. So they do those little things really well. They put the bat on the ball, and they just run the bases well. They get those runners over. They make the sacrifices. You know, they got good speed out there. So this is why this Diamondbacks team is just really pesky, and they're going to battle until the bitter end. So give a lot of credit here to the Diamondbacks. They did play a good game here today. In the end, bullpen just couldn't come through. Give a lot of credit to Tommy Pham as well. Big home run there. After the bases loaded walk to Garver, we'll get to Gallen here in just a little bit. That tied the game at 3, but then Tommy Pham coming through with a big spot home run, made it 4-3. You know, go back to that trade deadline. People were wondering, where was Tommy Pham going to go? It looked like maybe the Twins were going to get him at one point, and here we are with the Diamondbacks coming through in the postseason, so that ends up being huge for them. But also give a lot of credit to Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte, for me, this year in the regular season, he was, in my opinion, the most underrated player for the Diamondbacks, and I think, honestly, one of the most underrated players in all of Major League Baseball this year. Had himself a good game here tonight. Perdomo got the base hit to open up the 5th inning, and then Marte with the double in the 5th. It made it 5-3. But in the end, that was the last bit of offense for the Diamondbacks. Would have been great if maybe they could have added a little bit more. They had a couple more chances later on, but they just couldn't come through there. You know, with this Rangers team, you're going to have bigger leads there. You know, that's going to be a huge need for the Diamondbacks because these Rangers bats, they're game-changing kind of bats. One swing, and you have a brand-new ball game just like we saw here tonight. I'll get to Nathan Eovaldi in just a second. You know, I do want to give credit to the Diamondbacks. You know, yes, sure, they were the losers here tonight, but I do want to just give the credit to them before I do fully move on to the Rangers. You know, give a lot of credit to Zach Gallen, right? Really knuckled it down, had the, you know, couple spotty moments there earlier in the game. He gave up 3 runs through the first 3 innings, you know, had the RBI base hits to Carter, Garcia, the bases loaded walk there. to Garver as well. So he was not looking very sharp, and he's not had a great postseason up to this point, minus the start against the Dodgers in the division round. Didn't look very good against the Phillies, but he came back, pitched a very good 4th and 5th inning. Overall, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned for Zach Gallen. So if he does end up getting another start in this series, I do think he's on the right track. I think he's trending upward. So Zach Gallen, I think that's going to be, in my opinion, a confidence-boosting start for him. Or you can just say a couple of confidence-boosting innings for him going into the next start. But the simple approach here for Gallen tonight, he just simply changed eye levels here tonight. And if we actually go here to the taking a look, let me go here really quick. Let me go, where is it? So if we actually go to kind of what he was doing here on the night. So, with Gallen, if you take a look here, a lot of pitches. Well, actually, was this no, this is not even the right game. I apologize. Let me go to tonight's game, and let me just show you kind of what Gallen was doing here tonight. So taking a look. So a very simple approach for Gallen tonight. A lot of fastballs up and a lot of off speed down. And one thing that Gallen did a little differently tonight was he went more with the changeup. So if we actually go here to Gallen, he threw a lot more changeups in this game than he did in his last start against the Phillies. So let me go here. Where is Gallen? My goodness. Here we go. So led with the fastball here tonight, and then the changeup, threw a lot more changeups. He went very heavy with the knuckle curves against the Phillies, but in this one, he kind of got away from it. And you could actually see in the last couple of starts, spin rates were not very good on the knuckle curves, so I think he just wasn't having a good feel for it. So he just kept it really simple here tonight. Fastball, changeup. Fastball's up in the zone, off speed, down in the zone. So Gallen just kept it simple tonight, and I think that just really showed the difference there in his results, and I think you could see an even better start from Gallen. But let's actually go here to the Texas Rangers. Let's go to the Texas Rangers. And with Nathan Eovaldi. So Nathan Eovaldi, this was definitely not a great start here for Nathan Eovaldi. So taking a look here at Eovaldi, ends up being his worst start so far this postseason. Something just didn't look right with Nathan Eovaldi right from the get-go. And the one thing I noticed with Eovaldi, he does throw a splitter, and he was throwing it way more here tonight than he had in previous starts. With Eovaldi, leaned very heavily on the fastball against the Houston Astros, but didn't go as heavy with the fastball here. He was really going with that splitter down in the zone a lot, and I think the reason for that, maybe I'm wrong, but the Diamondbacks, they make a lot of contact. So I think personally what Eovaldi was trying to do was throw a lot of those splitters and try and get the Diamondbacks, since they make so much contact and they take so many swings. I think he was just trying to get them to hit the ball onto the ground, and the Rangers have a good defense. So I think Eovaldi was just trying to get some more ground balls here tonight and try to let the Diamondbacks work against themselves. But in the end, it just didn't pay off. He hung, a couple of pitches here tonight, a couple of splitters. Carroll with the triple, that was off of a splitter. And then Tommy Pham with the home run, that was off of a splitter as well. So I think there was a decent game plan there. But in the end, just the pitches, the splitters themselves weren't very effective for Eovaldi tonight. And it really cost him a couple of times. And then Marte, RBI double there in the 5th inning. That was off of a curveball. And if we see here, the curveball for Eovaldi, the spin rate was really down. So I think in the end, Eovaldi's stuff just wasn't as crisp as we have seen it. He did try to go with a different approach here tonight, and it just didn't work out. But in the end, offense bailed him out. So I think if Eovaldi does get another start in this series, I think he's going to go with a different game plan. I think you could end up seeing him go back to those more heavy fastballs. Who knows? Maybe, the bullpen in between starts. Maybe he starts to feel better about those. Maybe the splitter is just coming out of his hand a little bit better. He's not hanging a couple of them. But I think in the end, Eovaldi, he has switched up his game plans a little bit from start to start. So I wonder what his next start could end up looking like. So in the end, now it's funny because the original post-game recap that I had planned, I was going to lead it off with the Diamondbacks bullpen. And now I'm going to finish it with the Diamondbacks bullpen, just like how this game ended. This bullpen was looking really good here tonight. And if we go back here, taking a look at the box score, I mean, Ryan Thompson came in, Mantiply came in, Ginkel ran into a little trouble, but Ginkel was able to get the hold there in the 8th inning. Those guys looked really good. They gave the bridge to Sewald. This has been the big plan for the Diamondbacks, you know, getting past the Phillies there. And just throughout this whole postseason, this bullpen has been dominant. And in the end, Sewald, you know, if you take a look here, he did get the 3 strikeouts, but in the end, a couple of walks, you know, and then the big home run to Corey Seager. So bullpen looked great for the Diamondbacks, but in the end, their strength came back to bite them. So, you know, Sewald at the end of the day, you know, he's just going to have to bounce back. And, you know, with Castro there, you know, and we did talk about this, CRAS951 in the chat. I got to give you a lot of credit, my friend. You were the first one to say, when it comes to Miguel Castro, this is a guy that has lacked a lot of command this year. Miguel Castro has definitely had his times, you know, where he's looked pretty solid for the Diamondbacks. If you go take a look at the overall numbers from him this year, it wasn't the most amazing year when it came to the overall numbers of 4.31 ERA over the 75 games. So he definitely was a workhorse for them. If I go to Fangraphs here, take a look at the FIP and the XFIP. I'm actually curious to see what this is. And so yeah, the FIP was kind of right in line, really, with his ERA. You know, 4.31 FIP compared to the 4.31 ERA. The XFIP was basically around the same. That's the problem when it comes to relievers that don't get a lot of strikeouts, right? You're just going to be more prone, especially in the postseason, when you're going up against some of these great hitters like Adolis Garcia, who's just been completely locked in this postseason. So Miguel Castro, that's not really the guy that you want. And in the end, for the Diamondbacks, they really went through kind of their best options, really. So Castro, in my opinion, Castro is more of like that middle relief kind of a guy, like a 6th, 7th inning kind of a guy to bridge it to the setup guys and the closer. So Castro, yeah, he's not the guy I fully want in that spot. But in the end, what can you do when, you know, your closer, Sewald, blows the game, you know? So you just got to do what you can do. You know, give a lot of credit to Nelson as well. He battled there an inning and a third. He kept it tight. But in the end, you know, Castro's just not the guy you want out there in the postseason. I do wonder if we see him again. I'm very curious to see what Lovello does with the bullpen, you know, moving forward. So, where does he pitch some of these guys? Does he change up some of the assignments? Does he go with someone else next time in a spot like that instead of Castro? So I'll be curious to see what ends up happening there. So let's get to game 2 here. Let's take a look here at what we have in store for game 2. So this should be, in my opinion, a solid one. So we're going to have Merrill Kelly for the Diamondbacks, and you're going to have Montgomery for the Rangers. What I like about this matchup is you're not really getting, strikeout stuff heavy kind of guys. These are guys that they both ranked near the top when it came to getting ground balls this year, and they both had really good postseasons. Merrill Kelly, people a lot, they were going after him for the comments that he made about, the Philly crowd. He wasn't saying anything bad about the Philly crowd. He was just saying he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, said, hey, he was used to that kind of noise, and trust me, Merrill Kelly was absolutely right, because it got really loud in that World Baseball Classic when I went to Venezuela against Puerto Rico. So he was not wrong about those comments. But I think this is going to be a really solid matchup. So I think, when it comes to the Diamondbacks, Montgomery, this is going to be a guy where, again, he's going to give you some strikeouts, of course, but he is going to produce those ground balls as well. And with the Diamondbacks, like I mentioned earlier, very high contact percentage for the Diamondbacks this year. So I wonder, with Montgomery, what is his game plan going to look like? Because the Diamondbacks, they're going to keep swinging the bats. I think it could end up not being a great matchup for Montgomery. When it comes to Kelly, he really showed that he can work his way around those good lineups. Going up against the Phillies a couple of times, looked pretty solid overall. When it comes to Merrill Kelly, I do wonder if he is a guy that's going to be more of like that 5-inning, maybe 6-inning kind of a guy where, when it comes to him, sure, he's making more of those ground balls work in the postseason. For me personally, I like guys that can throw more stuff in the postseason. But Merrill Kelly, he is making it work. I just do wonder how deep he's going to be able to go into this game against this Rangers team with just the big boppers that they have. But again, he showed that he can definitely work his way through at least a couple of times which we saw against the Phillies. And who knows, maybe even making his way through a few times. So we'll have to see how deep he goes. But I think we could end up seeing a good bit of offense in Game 2. We did see a little bit of offense to start off this game today, but I think we could maybe even see a bit more in this Game 2. So we'll have to wait and see. But again, stars of the show for tonight, Corey Seager, big-time home run. This is why they signed this guy. This is the superstar that they wanted. And then Adolis Garcia, who has just completely turned himself into a superstar in this postseason. Again, just a horrible mismatch there. Miguel Castro, not the guy you want, even though it's a righty-righty matchup. It doesn't matter. Adolis Garcia is just completely locked in right now. Not the guy you want to go up against. So, in the end, great win for the Texas Rangers tonight. This is absolutely fantastic for them. And let's see if they can keep this going in Game 2, or if we can see the Diamondbacks battle back. Everyone, I appreciate you stopping by here for tonight. Don't forget about our sponsor here, Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description down below. It is your number one stop for all your daily fantasy needs. Basketball season is back. Football season, we're right in the thick of things. And of course, it is World Series time on Underdog. So definitely go click the link in the description down below. They're going to have some new picks available for tomorrow. So they're definitely doing some good picks for the pick'ems when it comes to the World Series. So check back tomorrow. They're going to have some more picks available. They're all going to be daily drafts as well. They got the daily drafts for the World Series right now, so definitely check these out. But basketball season is back, so definitely check those out as well. And then obviously we got football this weekend. Obviously a full slate on Sunday. But definitely check back here tomorrow. Again, you can do pick'ems where you can go over/under on certain statistics. You can even go pick'ems with rivals where you can go head-to-head with players. Who's going to do better in certain statistics. And again, you can do daily drafts as well. So one more time, the link is in the description down below. Make sure you use the code HIDE. You get a double on your first deposit up to $100. Not a bad deal if you ask me. And I'm just saying, I've already won myself, a few bucks this postseason. So go see if you can win yourself a few bucks as well. Everyone, I'm going to get myself out of here. Blake Spicer, thank you for joining, my friend. Blake Spicer, longtime friend of the channel. Blake, I know you're absolutely stoked right now. As a Rangers fan, that was the most hyped final 3 innings of a game I've ever watched. Absolutely cool. I mean, listen, when you see Corey Seager hitting that home run, right, that gives me memories back in the day, of the Red Sox. Go back to 2004 with the clutch moments that they had. Go back to 2007, 2013, 2018. It's such a great feeling, right, when you have just those big moments. And these are moments that, for Rangers fans, who knows, maybe you can end up remembering these moments, years from now. We go back to the 2011 Rangers, where it ends up being just a depressing memory. Maybe this could end up being something you look back on and be like, yeah, I remember watching that game. Corey Seager with the big home run, Adolis Garcia with the massive game-winning home run. So, Blake Spicer, glad you had yourself a great night. Pocket Sands, can you take me higher? Creed is on fire right now. Absolutely love me some Creed. Rangers fans, they are blaring Creed right now at the moment. So, everyone, thank you for stopping by here tonight. If you can on the way out, hit that like button for us. The goal was to get to 100 likes on the night. We got to 90. So if you can help us get there, I will love you forever. Let's get to 100 likes before we get out of here. And subscribe if you are new. We're talking baseball here all the time. We got the World Series, but we got the offseason coming up shortly after. A ton of offseason content coming up here. I'm very excited about the offseason, but we got the World Series first. I'm excited for it. I'll be doing post games every single night after a World Series game. Also, make sure you're on the lookout. I have a couple of videos coming up. I'll have one for this weekend as well. Might be posted tomorrow night, but I might hold off until Sunday since it is an off day for baseball. So I will I'm not quite sure when I'm posting it, but make sure you're on the lookout. It is about, actually, not about the World Series, but about the Juan Soto trade rumors. I got a video cooking up about some Juan Soto trade proposals, so look out for that this weekend. Everyone, I'm out of here. I'm going to get some sleep. I'm exhausted. Rangers fans, I know you're probably not going to sleep until like 5 in the morning, so enjoy it. I'll be back here for Game 2. Have yourself a great night, everyone, and I'll talk to you next time.